It's really hard to believe that you can be the only one out of all the Steam players to be playing a particular game. Especially if the game is only on Steam, you could be the only person in the world playing that game at that moment. Kinda crazy to think about, really, and I thought it'd be an interesting topic to cover to shed light on some of the interesting or fun games that are essentially dead. Since there are plenty of games that fall into this category, I'll be focusing on 5 games from my Steam library that has little to no players left. I made sure to pick games that are not asset flips or low quality garbage titles that were put on Steam to make a quick buck. I also will not mention any games that were removed off of Steam. All of these games are still purchasable from Steam at the time of this video's making. Crumple Zone is a destruction derby style game made by one person. It's a shame that this game didn't do too well, especially being that it's one of the newest games in this list, releasing in May of 2019. It has really fun gameplay that captures that old arcade racing feeling, right with modern era controls and decent graphics. Usually there is only 1 or 2 people playing the game on a daily basis, with only 5 people at its peak player count. Let's hope the sole developer can continue with this project and see a resurgence in the player base. The Club is an arcade-style third-person shooter made by Bizarre Creations. The game failed commercially and was never really popular. I've had times where I was the only one playing the game on Steam, and recently there's only just been a few people playing. I did give this game a negative rating on Steam because of gameplay and technical issues, but I still think it's a fun game. We were even trying to get a bunch of people for the online portion, but sadly that never worked out. I'll leave my Steam review of The Club down in the description if you're curious to find out more. Dangerous Golf was the first game from Three Fields Entertainment, being like a tech demo for what was to come from the studio. It's definitely an odd title, especially coming from a team that used to work on the Burnout games. Playing golf while trying to destroy as much of the environment as you can is not a game you see every day. While there are a few players left, it's mostly dead in the water. Vector Assault is a twin-stick shooter that takes inspiration from Geometry Wars and Space Invaders. Much of the gameplay is very inspired by Geometry Wars, but it differs in the sense that you don't die in one hit and other spaceships will chase and shoot at you. This is again another game that hardly no one plays due to the fact that people saw it as a poor Geometry Wars clone. In 2020, the developer will get the rights back for the name from Strategy First, so hopefully we can see them expand more on Vector Assault and make a game that can break from the shackles of Geometry Wars. Guzzlers Combat Carnage is a vehicular combat game made by GameSpires. Interesting story behind this game is that GameSpires was unsuccessful with getting this game through Steam Greenlight, so they released it on other platforms like Origin, Gamersgate, Desura, and even a physical box copy in 2012. Once they got a publisher, they decided to update Combat Carnage and release it on Steam as Guzzlers Extreme 1 year later, and continued to update that game until 2017. When Desura shut down and the game was delisted from Origin, GameSpires tried again to get the game through Steam Greenlight, and they were able to in 2017. So Combat Carnage is like that older, outdated version of Extreme that was put on Steam after the release of Extreme. Because of this, really no one plays the original game, with the peak player count only being 14 people. Personally, I like this game better than Extreme because of the better effects and other gameplay changes, but I don't blame people for going to the new title. That is the end of this video. If you know of any more dead Steam games that you would like to recommend, or just to shed some light on, leave them down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.